Ah, hello. My goodness, this is weird. In one of the oldest theater cliches, as they say, the show must go on. So, despite the quarantine state we all live in, here we are ready to put on a live performance for all of you here via Zoom and YouTube. Uh, those of you who don't know me, my name is Haddad, and joining me as my wonderful and very talented co-host, Megan Hennessey.
Hello.
How are you feeling tonight, Megan?
You know, I'm pretty proud actually. Like the world is on fire, but we're still making a space for theater at firsties that we love and care about very dearly to come together and to showcase what we do really well for ArtBeat.
Lovely, absolutely. We are, on behalf of Theater at First, we are very excited to be here representing Theater at First for Somerville Art Council's ArtBeat. I know they've had a fantastic week of great performances. The theme for the week has been chance. And there are so many great artistic expressions out there, but, and maybe we're a little biased, but theater more than most really hits that element of chance. There's something about that element of live performance where anyone who's done any stage work or outdoor live performances, anything like that, you know that on any given performance, anything can happen, and you just have to be ready for it. But even more so, chances just in every aspect of the theatrical process, from never really knowing who is going to walk in to those auditions. When you're a director, you have your ideas of how you envision certain characters or what particular personality types you're looking to fill the roles. And then someone that you didn't know comes in and completely changes your viewpoint of how you looked at the character for the show that you're directing. And amazing and beautiful things like that happen all of the time in theater. A cast coming together and a group of people who many of them had not known each other 6, 8, 9 weeks beforehand, all of a sudden have this shared experience and this wonderful bond that forms between them while they are putting this show together, and the crew as well.
I blame Tech Week for that. When you're in a theater 6+ hours a day, that's what you're gonna get. You find a way to bond to people like super glue because you're all in it together and you need to make it out to the other side with your sanity intact.
Absolutely, and Megan, you can also speak to this as well. You know, from either a director's standpoint or from an actor's standpoint, or even from a tech standpoint, that other element of chance in throughout the rehearsal process, those
Mm.
those things that just someone said a line differently and it led to something that no one was expecting, or as I've been guilty of directing, and some of my tech people lovingly will complain about, you know, when I go, hey, we kind of want to do this thing, can you make that happen? And you know, having these brilliant people surrounding the performance and the production who sit around going, God, how are we going to make that happen? Ooh, I know, let's try this. And then something magical happens. There are so many aspects to the way that chance is involved in theater. You know, obviously you prep and you rehearse, and directors and producers and crew and even cast, they come in with ideas and thoughts and we work those out. But at the same time, chance is always present. It's always an element to what happens in theater. And, you know, even something like when you're doing a live performance, how you feed off of the audience. Have you ever
Mm.
had that experience, Megan? Have you ever had an audience positively or negatively affect a
Oh,
performance?
yes. So when I was down in Connecticut before I joined theater at first, we always used to joke that our Thursday night audiences we had to be really careful about because their energy was Thursday nights. They're a little quieter, you know, they're not super rowdy yet, but it meant that we actually had to amp up our performance to counterbalance it versus Mike, as I'm sure you've seen, Saturday nights, 8 p.m. Everyone's raring to go, and like usually it's friends and family of the cast, so they're also there with their pom-poms, and we as the actors just get to walk on stage and use it as a battery charge.
Oh, cool.
So absolutely. And I also think, to your point about how chance works in rehearsals, it also keeps actors on their toes, where we actually start to fold chance into things. Another great thing that Mike also leads is our 24-hour play fest, which you should all totally audition for when it comes around. And we only have 24 hours to write the play, rehearse the play, and put it on. And that requires our actors to come on stage and go, something might not go according to plan. We might not remember a line. Our prop might not be where it needs to be. How are we going to roll with that? And once you embrace it, it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And I'm actually glad you brought up the 24-hour shows. I think it's going to segue nicely because the Giving It First, which is the name of the program, was something my wife and I developed and was lovingly welcomed and assisted by so many people at Theater at First. And we've had several events over the last couple of years. And one of the things that sets Giving It First apart than some of the other festivals is that it's purely done as a charity event. Every time we do one of these, we find a charity that we would like to donate to, and all of the money that is raised for that production goes to that specific charity. And in keeping with that, in line with that, I'd also like to mention, and you'll hear us, anyone who sticks with us for the whole show tonight, you'll hear Megan and I talking about this several times. But not only are we excited to do this, to be a part of ArtBeat, not only do we have this wonderful, talented group of actors who are donating their time and talent to put on this performance, but very importantly, we would also like to say that tonight's performance is dedicated to the Black Lives Matter movement. And on the YouTube link on our website at Theater at First, we have a donation link set up. And all of the donations that Theater at First is going to receive tonight and over the next few days, for anyone who doesn't get a chance to see the actual performance, but you can see the video of it. Any donations that are made are going to be collected from by Theater at First and then given to Black Lives Matter. We are in a time where it's becoming, unfortunately, not enough people have realized this until this point, and still there are painfully not enough people who have gotten there yet. But we are at a point in our lives, in the history of this country, where you can't just sit back and say, well, I'm not participating in these terrible acts, so I don't need to worry. I don't need to get involved because I'm not racist. I'm not doing these things. It's more about, we need to stand together and we need to actively be anti-racist. And a big shout out to our artistic director, Elizabeth Hunter, who has spent several weeks working on a special subcommittee within Theater at First to increase our awareness and to really hit head on the systemic racism that is a part of our society, and trying to combat that. And so if you're tuning in, if you enjoy these performances even just a little bit, please click on the link, donate. It's going to a great cause. We all need to be in this fight together. It's the only way that we're going to be affecting real change. Megan, would you like to add anything on that?
I think you covered it, that we are doing what we can in any small way to help.
All right. Well, buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because the show is officially about to begin. And first up, we have a wonderful actress who's going to be presenting a monologue. Please let us introduce Jackie Freyman. There she is. Jackie, how you feeling today?
Feeling okay, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. Can you tell everyone what piece you're going to be performing?
Sure. It's a monologue from a play called Enchanted April. I was in a production of it last year, and really touched me.
And if you don't mind, can you tell us a little bit about how you felt, how did you come to this monologue when you were thinking about the chance in theater theme?
Sure. Well, the play, it starts in London immediately following World War I. It's about 4 women who don't know each other, just sort of come together by chance. Actually, it starts with one woman, her name was Lottie, who just randomly changed her routine one day, and it led to these 4 women coming together. They're all a little broken. They're all feeling the post-war depression. They're all grieving in some way. And they decide to pool their money and rent a villa in April for the month of, in Italy for the month of April. And again, they don't have anything in common except this grief that they're feeling in their own way that they don't really have an easy time expressing to each other. But they sort of end up being what each other needs to heal. And when I heard about the theme of chance, this was the first thing that came to mind.
Lovely, lovely. Well, we can't wait to hear it. So if you're ready, Jackie?
Sure.
All right.
I was once told the story of a man who, while surveying the grounds of his home, dug his walking stick into the earth as a reminder of where he wished to one day have an acacia tree. One he could watch from his veranda and lie under with his wife on warm summer afternoons, cooled in the shadow of its white flowers and blanketed in their sweet scent. But when planting season came round and he returned with his spade and an acacia sapling, the man was vexed. The stick he had left had taken root and begun to grow. It was nearly as tall as himself now, in fact, with young, awkward branches and small clusters of frail new leaves. This on the very spot that was to be his acacia. The man buried his spade into the ground to unearth the strange thing, but stopped. For among the leaves, underneath, he spied a small blossom. It was acacia. Enchantment, some would say, or providence, perhaps. I suppose the only real certainty is that the fellow had lost a perfectly good walking stick. If that's the part you choose to see, the rest is open to opinion. Were it only that some enchantment would step in for us all, to change what we have into what we wish for, to bridge the awkward gap between all of our many befores and afters. Because for every after found, a before must be lost, and loss is by nature an unbalancing thing. More unbalancing, however, is to discover your before gone without an after having taken its place, leaving you merely to wait and wonder if there is to be an after at all, or if perhaps waiting and wondering are your after in themselves. I wasn't expecting my after to begin that day at my ladies' club. I wasn't waiting for enchantment to show itself or providence. I had merely been gazing out of the window, wondering if the rain was ever going to stop. and what my husband might like for dinner that night, and about the fact that the day before I had wondered the same things, and surely would the following day, and the day after that, and the day after, when I came upon the advertisement, to those who appreciate wisteria and sunshine, a small advert placed discreetly in the agony column of the Times. Small castle on the Mediterranean, northern Italy. Heaven. To be let for the month of April. Cook Gardens Ocean View, reply box 11. The words washed over me, filling me suddenly with warmth and peacefulness, as if the advertisement were there especially for me and was pleased I'd found it. To those who appreciate wisteria and sunshine. That's me! But who am I to be reading about Italian castles and Aprils on the Mediterranean? Who am I? But then, why would I bother to read the newspaper at my ladies' club when I surely would read my husband's copy tomorrow morning after housekeeping? And why would I come to my club at all on a Tuesday when my regular city day is Wednesday? And certainly, why would I notice the lady? That particular lady I see so often at church and was thinking of only moments ago. Providence? Enchantment?
Thank you, Jackie. That was lovely. That was a wonderful scene.
My pleasure.
You might not have information on this because, but you said you were actually in Enchanted April, correct?
Yes, this is actually the part I played.
Lovely, lovely. Did I hear right? The agony column of the Times?
Yes.
Okay,
Was that-
cool. Wasn't just me. I was wondering about that.
Well, I actually had to look that up when I was in this because it's very, very old-fashioned and very British way of saying sort of the Lonely Hearts Missed Connections column.
Wow. That is really cool. I did not know that was the thing.
Or, well, I guess classifieds. They wouldn't have necessarily called it the Lonely Hearts or Missed Connections. I think Missed Connections is strictly Craigslist, but the older and British way of saying classifieds.
Well, thank you. And thank you again for the presentation, Jackie. It was really wonderful. And we will be seeing you a little bit later for our monologue roulette. All right. Before we bring up our next presenters, I'll share my own personal story of chance in theater. This was one of those rehearsal situations. I was directing a short piece in a play festival put on by a wonderful playwright named Mike Manship. This was back at the old Factory Theater over by Symphony Hall. And it was this very strange farce about a thief breaking into a couple's house and interrupts them in a compromising situation. And then the thief proceeds to yell at the couple for mentally scarring her for what she has seen while she's breaking into their house. So fun, it was a fun piece. We all had a great time with it. Like a week or two before the actual performance went up, the woman who was playing the thief, Emma Goodman, brilliant actress, she does her bit, and the direction I had given her is that she stumbles back onto the stage and collapses onto the couch, rubbing her eyes from what she had just seen. Well, we're rehearsing it, and she does the action and she sits back on the couch, but the couch must not have been completely stable because the whole couch just completely flips upside down. And like the horror on my face witnessing it, and I had two immediate thoughts. My first thought, I will say with pride, my first thought, my first vocalization was, "Oh my God, Emma, are you okay?" And she went, "Yeah, no, I'm totally fine. I didn't get hurt at all." And I went, "Great. Can you do that again?" Would you feel comfortable doing that again? What I mean, like, obviously her safety was a primary concern, but like once I found out that she was fine and she was okay with it, I went, that was actually really cool and really funny. Like, would you want to try and do that like on purpose? And she was like, yeah, let's do this. And it literally was a complete accident. Thankfully, she did not get hurt, nor did get hurt in the future performing of it. And it turned into one of the great bits of the show, completely unplanned, just by chance, a happy accident, quite literally an accident that happened in rehearsal that just turned into this great bit. And
so how many times did she have to do that for audience?
Only 3 times for in front of an audience.
I feel like that's impressive of like, cool, I need to land this 3 times without actually getting hurt and also making sure the couch stays in one piece. Well done, yeah. Emma. Well done.
Oh, absolutely. No, she was a trooper. All right, so that's my little story on theater and chance. Next up, we would like to introduce a pair that we have today. Robert Thorpe and Ameilia Smith are going to be presenting a scene from David Ives' All in the Timing. This is Sure Thing.
Excuse me, is this seat taken?
Excuse me?
Is this taken?
Yes, it is.
Oh, sorry.
Sure thing.
Excuse me, is this seat taken?
Excuse me?
Is this taken?
No, but I'm expecting somebody in a minute.
Oh, thanks anyways.
Sure thing.
Excuse me, is this chair taken?
No, but I'm expecting someone very shortly.
You mind if I sit here till they come?
They do seem to be pretty late.
You never know who you might be turning down.
Sorry. Nice try, though.
Sure thing. Is this chair taken?
No, it isn't.
Oh, mind if I sit here?
Do.
Oh, is this chair taken?
No, it isn't.
You mind if I sit here?
No, go ahead.
Thank you. Every place else seems to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
Great place, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what are you reading?
Actually, I was hoping to read in the quiet, if you don't mind.
Oh, no, sure thing. Every place else seems to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
Great place for reading, though.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
What's the book?
The Sound and the Fury.
Oh, Hemingway? What's the book?
The Sound and the Fury.
Oh, Faulkner.
Have you read it?
Well, not actually. I've sure read about it, though. It's supposed to be great.
It is great.
I have heard it's great.
Yeah.
Waiter? What's the book?
The Sound and the Fury.
Oh, Faulkner.
Have you read it?
I'm more of a Mets fan myself. What's the book?
The Sound and the Fury.
Oh, Faulkner?
Have you read it?
Yeah, I read it in college.
Oh, where was college?
It was over Zoom.
Where's college?
I lied. I didn't actually go to college. Party.
Where was college?
NYU.
Oh, do you like Faulkner?
I love Faulkner. I spent a whole winter reading him once.
I've just started.
I was so excited that after 10 pages, I went out and bought all the rest of his writing. It was one of the greatest reading experiences of my life. I mean, all of that incredible psychological understanding. Page after page of gorgeous prose. The way he somehow understood both the mystery of time and human existence. And the smells of the earth. So what do you think?
I think it's pretty boring.
Oh. What's the book?
The Sound and the Fury.
Oh, Faulkner.
Do you like Faulkner?
I love Faulkner.
He's incredible.
I spent a whole winter reading him once.
I got so excited after 10 pages that I went out and bought everything he's ever written.
All of that incredible psychological understanding.
And the gorgeous prose.
And the way he could somehow understand the mystery of time.
And human existence. I can't believe I waited this long to read him.
You never know. You might not like them before.
That's true.
You might have to hit these things at the right moment. Otherwise, it's no good.
Yeah, that's happened to me before.
It is all in the timing. My name's Bill, by the way.
I'm Betty.
Hi.
Hi.
So yeah, Faulkner was great.
Oh, yeah.
The sound and the fury.
Sound and the... Well, onwards and upwards.
Yeah, waiter. You have to hit these things at the right moment, otherwise it's no good.
That's happened to me before.
It is all in the timing. My name is Bill, by the way.
I'm Betty.
Hi.
Hi.
So do you come here often?
Oh, actually, I'm just in town for 2 days from Australia.
Oh, Australia, eh? So do you come here often?
Oh, every once in a while. You?
Well, not really. Not as much as I used to. Not since the incident. Do you come here often?
Why do you ask?
I'm just interested.
Are you really interested, or are you just trying to pick me up?
Yeah, I'm just interested.
Why would you be interested in whether I come here often?
I don't know, just acquainted.
You just want to make small talk for long enough to ask me back to your place to listen to some music, or because you've got some great new tape for your VCR,
What?
or you have some previously unknown Django Reinhardt album, when really all you want to do is fuck, which you won't do very well. And then afterwards, you'll go to the bathroom and pee very loudly, and then pad into the kitchen to get yourself a beer without asking me if I wanted anything, and then you'll come back to bed and lie down next to me and confess that you've got a girlfriend named Stephanie who's at medical school in Belgium, and you've been in a relationship on and off, in a relationship that you'll describe as intricate for 7 years, none of which interests me, mister.
Okay. So do you come here often?
Oh, you know, about every other day.
I'm in here all the time and I don't think I've ever seen you.
We must be on different schedules,
Missed connections.
different time zones.
Crazy how you can live right next door to someone in this town and never even know it.
Yeah,
City life.
it's wild.
These waiters in a different time zone. I can't find one anywhere. Waiter. So what is this?
Oh, sorry?
Nothing.
We must be on different schedules,
Missed connections.
different time zones.
Crazy how you can live right next door to someone in this town and never even know it.
Yeah,
City life.
it's wild.
So you weren't waiting for someone when I came in, were you?
Actually, I was,
Oh, boyfriend?
sort of.
What's a sort of boyfriend?
My husband.
You weren't waiting for someone when I came in now, were you?
Actually, I was,
Oh, boyfriend.
sort of.
What's a sort of boyfriend?
We were meeting here to break up.
Oh, what's a sort of boyfriend?
My lover. Oh, here she comes now.
You weren't waiting for someone when I came in, were you?
No, just reading.
Oh, kind of a sad occupation for a Friday night now, isn't it?
Do you think so?
I mean, yeah, what's a good-looking woman such as yourself doing out alone on a Friday night?
Trying to stay away from lines like that?
No, look, you weren't kind of a sad occupation for a Friday night now, isn't it?
I guess it is, in a way.
What's a good-looking woman like you're all alone on a Friday night? No offense, I just.
Oh, it's actually my first time out alone on a Friday night in a long time.
Oh,
You see, I just ended a relationship,
oh,
both rather long-standing.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, hey, since it is such a sad occupation for Friday night, did you want to go somewhere else?
No,
Do something else?
I don't think so.
I was headed to the movies in a bit.
Nah.
Big chance to let Faulkner touch his breath. All those long, wordy sentences really tire him out.
Thanks anyway.
Sure thing. Kind of a sad occupation for a Friday night now, isn't it?
Oh, I was thinking of it more as existentially romantic.
Oh.
Cappuccino, great literature, rainy night.
That sort of stuff only really works in Paris.
Hmm.
Oh, we could catch the late plane to Paris, Get on Concord, find a nice little cafe.
I'm a little short on plane fare tonight.
Ah, darn, so am I.
But listen, I was thinking after I finish this section that I might head up to the movies if you wanted to join me.
Well, actually, I was
Oh, girlfriend?
two, actually. Anthony,
Girlfriend?
sort of.
What's a sword girlfriend?
My mother. I actually just got out of a relationship
Oh,
of rather long standing.
I'm sorry.
It's my first night out alone in a long time. To tell you the truth, I'm feeling a bit out at sea.
Oh, so you didn't come talk to me because you're a loony or you have some weird political affiliation?
Oh no, I'm a straight down the ticket Republican, a straight down the ticket Democrat. Can I tell you something about politics? I like to think of myself as a citizen of the universe. I'm unaffiliated.
Oh, that's a relief. So am I.
I vote my beliefs.
That's the way to do it. Labels are not important.
Labels are not important, exactly. Take me, for example. So what if I had a 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 in college? Or if I'm from New York, New Jersey, Boston?
Yeah.
I think a man is what he is. A person is what he is. A person is what they are.
Too right.
So what if I admired Trotsky? So what if I once had total body liposuction? So what if I spent a year in the Peace Corps? I was acting on my...
Yeah. I'll bet you're a Scorpio. You know, I was thinking after I finish this section that I might head out to the movies if you
Oh.
wanted to join me.
That sounds like fun. What's playing?
Some of the really early Woody Allen movies.
Oh,
Oh, don't you like Woody Allen?
no, I like Woody Allen, yeah.
But you don't love Woody Allen.
The early ones get on my nerves. So anyways, I was
Sorry.
after
You
you.
go ahead.
I was just saying I was gonna head to the movies in a
So
little
was I.
the Woody Allen Festival.
Just up the street.
Oh man, do you like the early ones?
I think anyone who doesn't ought to be run off the planet.
How many times have you seen Bananas?
8 times.
12. So were you still interested?
Do you like Entenmann's crumb cake?
I went out last night at 2 a.m. just to get one. Did you have an Etch-a-Sketch growing up?
Yes. Do you like Brussels sprouts?
I think they're disgusting.
They are disgusting.
Do you still believe in marriage in spite of current sentiments against it?
Yes.
And children?
Yes, 3 of them.
2 girls and a boy?
Harvard, Vassar, and Brown.
And will you love me?
Yes, and cherish me forever.
Yes. Did you still go to the movie?
Okay.
Waiter.
Bravo, bravo. Well done, you two. That was lovely. I particularly enjoyed the college over Zoom.
Yeah. Slight
That was,
edge.
Yeah, a nice addition. A nice addition. I want to know what cafe you guys are at, because any cafe that has a sword is a cafe.
Thank you. I had questions.
So just a quick question. So what had you guys settle on that piece?
Well, it was the first one that sprung to my mind on the theme because, you know, it's got both a chance encounter between 2 people and then also multiple chances at succeeding at the encounter, and was familiar with the piece from scene night in college and thought it fit nicely.
Yeah.
Plus, I thought it'd be nice to do something a little bit funny and have some funny. Although it is really weird doing comedy over Zoom without being able to hear anyone laughing.
Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I was dying even though you couldn't hear it on mute.
All I know is I want one of those bells. Just go around in life and just ding as a restart. Be great.
Oh, that'd be great.
Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I thought you knocked it out of the park. You did such a great job.
Thank you.
All right, well, you guys have a great night, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
You too. Thanks, everybody.
If you are just joining us, if you missed some of the earlier performances, just a reminder that we're here representing Theater at First. This is part of ArtBeat's Art Week, and this is Chance in Theater. And most importantly, we are doing this as a donation drive for Black Lives Matter. There is a donation link. You should be able to see it right on the YouTube link. You can also see it at the Theater at First website. If you click on that link, you can make a donation, and all donations that we collect are going to be going to Black Lives Matter. From tonight, we're also going to keep it open for a week or so afterwards. Anyone who couldn't watch it live, the recording is going to be up at the Somerville Arts Council website, and we will still be accepting donation after the fact. So please, it's a really important cause, and even a small donation, every little bit helps. So if you can, please, I know times are tough for a lot of people, but if you can spare $5 or $10, you'd be doing a really great thing. So please do, please do. Megan, do you have any good stories?
Yes, Mike.
About you have any good stories about Chance in Theater?
Of course, my goodness. So let us set the scene. It is 2016. I have newly arrived to Boston from Connecticut, where I did some community theater. And as many community theater folks know, we have a bunch. You can go to JP, you can go to us in Somerville, you can go to where you are, Mike, in Burlington. So many options. But I didn't know any of them, and I didn't know where to look, because for some reason, I thought that there would be an actual community theater in the financial district in Boston. Inaccurate, not true. So finally, I find one. I go to one of the community theaters in JP. I have scored an audition for the Mousetrap, and I walk in, I take my seat, and I figure this is my chance. Okay, I'm going to break into the community theater scene in Boston. It's going to be great. And of course, many of the actors auditioning are wonderful. And there is one woman coming in. She plays the wife. I believe her name is Molly in the show, Mike. As someone who has directed it, you would know this?
That is accurate. Oh my goodness.
She comes in and she is wonderful, very talented. And so I figure, okay, we've all given our auditions. So I gather my things and I walk out. I stop in the bathroom and I see her at the sink washing her hands. And so I walk up to her, make a little small talk and say, oh my God, you did such a great job. And we get to chatting. It turns out she's a drama teacher and she knows the area quite well. And she says, why don't you send me your email? I can give you a list of all of the community theaters that are around in the area. And so a couple of days later, I follow up with her and she does just that. She sends me a full list, all hyperlinked, with shows that are coming up and audition schedules. And one of them was for Theater at First, where Mike was doing a show by Eugene O'Neill based on a little known Greek tragedy. And I managed to score an audition, and that's how I was able to join the Theater at First crew.
Wow, I did not, I mean, obviously we first met at that audition. I had no idea that there was a whole backstory to that. And I think you might have froze. But hey, that's like we've been saying, chance in theater, and anything can happen. Megan, that was a wonderful story, and I'm glad to know that. That's and what a cool experience to have someone be so kind and to pass on that information. We're going to keep the ball rolling with our performances. Our next performer is actually also has a story to tell about a theater experience that has to do with chance. So please welcome Sarah Bergman. Hi, Sarah. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Doing well. Things are off to a good start, I'd say. And
No, I love the last two. They were so good.
Thank you. Thank you. Excited to tell your story?
Yeah, thank you so much just to let everyone know out there, Somerville, a part of Somerville had a power outage. So I'm actually in JP right now. Um, just like, I just wanted to make sure I made it. So talk about chance.
Right. Well, I applaud your commitment to the show, and thank you for trekking out there.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hand the speaker over to you. We're gonna turn our video off and our speakers off, and it's all you, Sarah.
All right. Well, hi everyone. I actually moved here from California in September, and so I went to high school in California. And just to let you all know, I know it's uncomfortable talking about high school, but I have to tell you the story of Mr. Swan, our high school theater director, because he was the most unplanned variable in every single school production. I'm actually terrified this could get back to him. You want to stay on his good side even 5 or 10 years after graduating. But to be clear, Swan was not an imposing man. He was 6 feet tall, he's in his 60s or 70s, skinny, a little stooped with a dark California tan, and 2 tufts of white hair, one on his head and one in his goatee. But even if he wasn't scary to look at, he fooled us. Once in rehearsal for Rabbit Hole, he stood from his chair and strutted to the stage, flexing one leg out to hoist himself up. A 1 foot vertical, I have a diagram here, a 1 foot vertical. He then strutted across the stage to one of the actors and wrestled him to the floor to demonstrate the emotional weight of the play. And the actor squirmed underneath him while Swan held his lunge for 5 minutes. It was terrifying. Swan was really volatile. He'd swoop into a room, guns blazing, criticizing the look of the stage that he designed last week. He gave conflicting notes to actors like, I'm going to see if I can do his impression. Be more monotonous. I want to hear the passion in your voice. Someone gave another actor notes during a rehearsal of Proof one time, and Swan actually stormed out to his office. So, his pet project, his baby, a stage rendition of the Iliad. I was a sophomore when we held auditions. In the 2 months between casting and the end of the show, every possible thing that could go wrong went wrong. Swan casted people who had never auditioned. We remade the set 3 times because Swan wanted it perfect. We had a 30-person ensemble who shared a total of 30 pages of narration between us. Swan switched these assigned lines 3 times a week between us all. So we decided to just memorize lines around us rather than all of us trying to memorize the entire 30 pages of narration. I was even handed notes about 20 minutes before opening. As for the cast, Zeus walked out 3 times, quitting in the middle of rehearsal, and we had to fight to bring him back. Hector, who was my boyfriend at the time, was a total ham and was trying to method act the part. Patroclus had a worsening stutter. Aphrodite was played by 3 different people, despite the part only having a total of 2 lines between the 2 hours. The play was 2 hours long, and it was awful. It was boring. Every line was just directly lifted from some translation without thinking about how it might actually look on stage. So far, we've got a reckless band of uninterested teenagers, a volatile wrestler director, and a play that is not fun to watch. So is it any surprise that about 40 minutes into Act 1, someone recites a line from Act 2? We had memorized around each other. The domino effect goes off in our heads. 1 wrong line equals a 20-second pause on stage. Was that the right line? Do we know? Our whole bodies go cold. I know it's the wrong line. Somebody says the line that might go next. Another person corrects it. Achilles is standing on stage waiting for us, and his face is red from holding in laughter. In our minds, we all have the same thought. At intermission, Swan is going to murder us. We roll into the green room at intermission. People are leaving, by the way, in the middle of intermission, which is not great at all. 2 ensemble members are yelling at us for forgetting the lines. Achilles blames one girl, who blames Zeus, who blames one of the Aphrodites that isn't Aphrodite that night. In truth, I had actually forgotten one of my brand new lines. Swan struts in. We're arguing so loud that most of us are shouting. He very softly tells us to stop talking. So we all sit, and he passes around a box of birthday cake Oreos, instructing us each to take 2. Our intermission is solved. Swan explains it doesn't really matter whose fault it is for the missed line or what's important. What's important is returning with Act 2 prepared. So he looks up at us with moony eyes and asks us, okay. So we go back on stage and we finish the night and we finish the terrible 4-day run. And by some miracle of chance, our super volatile director did not scream bloody murder at us or wrestle us to the ground. He moved on, and so did we. But please don't tell him that I'm doing this. 'Cause it can't get back to me. The end.
I tell you, I hear you telling that story, and I think anyone who's done theater for long enough has either been in a scenario where you're the one stuck on stage and can't remember what you're supposed to say next, or you're stuck on stage with someone who can't remember what they're supposed to say next. You're saying this, and I'm having like I'm cringing. I'm just sitting there like freaking out. Oh, what a wonderful story. And it's so nice to hear that someone who on any other day might have ranted and railed at you actually was very compassionate in that situation. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thank my lucky stars every day for it, but I'm glad it's funny now.
All right, so anyone who's watching who knows Mr. Swan, please do not tell him Sarah told this story to you.
I'm almost certain one of you knows him. I'm so certain. But anyway, that's just please don't. Anyway, thank you guys so much for putting this all together.
Oh, it was our pleasure. Thank you for being a part of it and sharing your story. It was a wonderful story, Sarah. You have a great night.
Thank you, you too.
All right. My co-host is dealing with one of those wonderful things that we've been talking about all night, random chance in theater and things happening. But fortunately, we have 2 wonderful people that are going to be presenting next. First, I would like to introduce Allison Fradkin, who has written a monologue. This is her piece that's going to be presented next. And Allison, if you don't mind, I'd like to chat a little with you before the monologue, just to get your thoughts on what did this mean to you in terms of when you wrote it? How did you feel about it?
It felt like I was doing some small act of activism, I guess, to like bring to light the plight of individuals who are in prison, really, in domestic violence situations.
Is there anything that you'd like to say about the piece before we introduce our presenter? I don't know if you caught that, Allison. I was asking Allison if there's anything else that you'd like to say about the piece, anything you'd like to tell us.
I can read what I shared yesterday.
Sure, that would be lovely.
Okay. So I was inspired to write The Escape of Good Hope after reading scores of stories detailing the swell of incidents of intimate partner violence during the quarantine, and the way that abusers seemed to love the lockdown because it invited them to inflict abuse on their partner on a ridiculously regular basis. So I wanted to tell a story about someone who takes the first chance she gets to get out and initiate her transition from victim to survivor so that she can experience the happy beginning that she deserves.
Excellent. Excellent. I want to thank you for sharing your work with us today and allowing it to be a part of what we're doing here tonight.
thank you for including it. I really appreciate that.
With that being said, I would like to introduce the ridiculously talented Anjie Parker, who, like Jackie Freyman, is pulling double duty tonight and is going to be presenting Allison's monologue and then showing up for our monologue roulette afterwards. Anjie, how you feeling tonight?
Pretty good. A little bit of pressure now. Just a little bit.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anything you'd like to say before you go, or do you want to just jump right into it?
Thank you for asking me to perform this. As soon as I read it the first time, I was like, I would be honored. It's a great monologue. I'm very thankful to be asked to read it, and I hope I can do it justice.
I have every confidence. I can't wait to hear it. All right, we're going to get you set up, and when you're ready, you go for it.
Okay. You know something? I got sand. That's why the first place I escaped to was the beach. I heard they were running low. I kicked back, put on some tunes that tribute to transformation. I am changing. Really hit the spot. Well, not the sore spot. I even listened to the sound of my own voice. Once I finally got a chance to hear it, I realized it's present, pleasant, much more mellifluous than something off your greatest hits album, which includes such scintillating singles such as Diss You Much, Proud Mary in Haste, Repent at Leisure. I'm getting personal, it's political pins that say, I don't like Ike. To accompany that one in the Piece de no Resistance, you can't stop the beatdown. Except, I can. I did. I stopped the beatdown. You knew my motto. Batter her up, 3 strikes, I'm out. You wanted me to be syrupy sweet 24/7 like Aunt Jemima. Instead, I took my cue from her counterpart, Uncle Ben. Like the water in an unwatched pot of oil in a rice bag, I reached my boiling point. It was either that or my breaking point. What a vile video diary entry that would be. And you'll never have the pleasure of seeing me cry anymore, or the pain of seeing me smile. In fact, you won't see me any kind of way ever again. Not a chance. And I know the first time leaving is the hardest. First is the worst and all that. But once you go black and blue, I never go back. Because the opportunity to leave is the chance of a lifetime, emphasis on life. So I'm going to beat the odds my first time out. Well, maybe not beat, but overcome just sounds so underwhelming. I got guts for days, weeks, months, and beyond. I can't take all the credit for my courage, though. Got to give credit to Sophia from The Color Purple, not the Golden Girls. Her song, Hell No, about refusing to be cruising for a bruising is what got me to make tracks in the first place. A person hears something often enough, there's a 50-50 chance she'll start to believe it. You don't know the half of it, but she does. So she starts to repeat it out loud. I'd croon, you'd cringe and criticize. I know why the cage bird sings. She's a Maya Angelou loser. Come on now, don't pout. You know I'm teasing you, Phaedra. And I can still get a rise out of you. I'll say this much for you. You could throw punches and shade like nobody's business. Naturally, I needed something to cushion the blow. Throw pillow. Sounds like a stage direction. Throw pillows are stuffed animals for grown-ups. They're considerably more comforting than any bouquet of your sorry not sorry ass flowers. The kind of perfect for playing that time-honored game of he shoves me not. That's right. I'm playing games without you. And guess what? I can identify them. None of that baseless accusation BS. What games was I ever playing with you? Huh? Trouble? Aggravation? Pac-Man? Well, since you neglected to specify, I jumped at the chance to play Pack Your Bags and Leave That Man, where every woman's a winner. See, I knew that underneath that coat of war paint I applied to the bruises was a brave face just waiting to be put on. And someday, even when those bruises are gone, but not forgotten, they'll still be souvenirs of survival. And there'll still be a sore spot with me. But now that I'm no longer under your skin, your thumb, or your spell, chances are I'm going to spell that word a little differently. SOAR. Hell yeah. Ooh. Heavy. Y'all coming back?
Nice job, Anjie. It's really wonderful.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Allison.
And we will have plenty of opportunities for any new playwrights potentially listening in. I am also the chair of our first works at Theater at First. So that is an opportunity for new playwrights who have never had their work produced to find a place to workshop it. And so that means they get a chance to get actor feedback and they get to see their production staged in a reading. And so Elizabeth Ross, wonderful director that she is, just did Changing Lanes, which was really wonderful. And that means coming up in the end of 2020, around November, we'll be starting the selection process again. So keep your eyes peeled for the Theater at First website for more information.
Always nice to get a plug in from time to time.
Absolutely. I do what I can.
Absolutely. I mean, between Allison's words and Angie's performance, that was just a powerhouse of a monologue. I thought it hit a really great note. Both of you, well done. And I'm so thrilled to have had that be a part of our performance this evening. We still have plenty of show to go. And before we get into what's happening next, just a reminder to go and hit that donation link. Okay, you're getting this wonderful entertainment. You're getting these powerful performances. Please, if you can, click on that donation link. Just a reminder that any money that is raised from this performance is all going to Black Lives Matter. We're going to keep the donation link up. It's going to be on the Theater at First webpage. It is on the link for this YouTube live event. And even people watching the recording who couldn't see the live performance, we're going to keep that link going, and we're going to keep it up for at least a week and collect donations. And when we shut it down, whatever money that we have raised, it's going to go to Black Lives Matter. So we're asking, please, click the link, donate. All right, I think we're ready for our final phase of this evening. And we have 6 intrepid, talented, wonderful actors who have signed up to be a part of this fun little evil, terrible game that Megan and I have concocted for Chance in Theater.
You're all welcome in advance.
The game is Monologue Roulette, incorporating multiple ideas of the theme of chance. I have a 6-sided die. Megan has some playing cards that she has pulled out, and each of our 6 actors is represented by a number on the die. We have Kate Tustin is number 1, Andy Lebrun is number 2, Angie Parker is number 3, Tori Clay is number 4, Jamie Lynn is number 5, and Jackie Freyman is number 6. So I will roll the die momentarily, and that will tell us which of our performers will be in the hot seat. They will put up their video and unmute themselves, introduce themselves to the world that is watching, and then my fabulous co-host Megan will draw a card. Now, Megan, for the viewers at home, you have absolutely zero idea what monologues I have chosen for tonight's performance. Is that an accurate statement?
Yep.
Excellent. So she has cards ace through 5, and she is going to draw one of those cards at random, show it to the camera, and on my end, each of those cards I have representing one of 10 possible monologues. So 6 of those monologues we are going to hear tonight by our presenters. I'm going to send them a link in the chat. I will give them a description of what play it's from, who the character is, and a brief idea of what's happening in the scene itself. And then they'll have the link in front of them, and the speaker view will be on them, and they will perform it cold. This is, it doesn't get any more live than this. A monologue that they have not prepared, not seen, they don't even know what is on this list, and they're just gonna have to go with it as best they can. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm sure, Megan, you're feeling like I am, in which is, it's good to be hosting this.
Oh yeah. Though I gotta be honest, as an actor, there's something very fun in receiving a cold script, because you have to do the work very quickly of like, okay, if you don't know the show, you really have to focus on the language, of figuring out what the language is trying to give you, to hit tone, to hit cadence, all of the fun things that make acting a good time.
Well, there's going to be 4 extra monologues, Megan. So, if you if you get bored towards the end and we have some extra time, I could always have you throw in. All right, we ready to get started? There's no live audience, so I can't hear you all cheering at home, but I'm going to assume that you're all cheering because you're super psyched about this activity.
So psyched. Most psyched ever.
See who we get first. All right. Number 3. Oh, Angie Parker. Not even a real chance to breathe, and you got to come right back. All right.
I mean, who am I to deny the people at home, I guess, right?
Exactly. All right, Megan. So draw a card for us. And we have lost Megan. She has texted me. The first card is 10. Okay. All right. And she's back. So let me pull this up. Angie, while I am pulling it up, just so you know. There we go. The play is Steve Martin's Picasso at the Lapin Agile.
Yes.
You have some familiarity?
I have actually done that show.
Oh, who did you play, if you don't mind me asking?
I played Jermaine.
Ah, You know what's funny is that we actually have a Germain monologue as one of our options, but it is not this option.
I guess I'll just have to make do.
The character that you will be reading is Sago, who is
Ooh.
the art dealer who works with Matisse and Picasso. For not just your sake, I know you are familiar with the show, but to help any of our people at home, if you are unfamiliar with the show, the scene that she is going to be reading, and I've just sent you the links so you can pull up the monologue while I'm doing the description. Sago is an art critic and an art dealer, and someone has asked him about how do you as an art dealer and an art critic tell what art is worth money and which is not worth money. And Sago then presents his theories on being an art dealer. Angie, were you able to get the script?
Yes.
All right, you are in speaker view. I'm gonna mute, and when you're ready.
Okay. I'll tell you how art works. When I bought it, I identify it as something worth having. I have named it as a work of art. Once I've done that, I don't have to own it. It will always be mine, and I guarantee you, Matisse is happy about it too. He wants his work out there, out of Paris. I've sold to Russia, and I've sold to America, and I've sold to dealers in Paris who sold everywhere. And the dealers like to buy from me because, frankly, they don't get it. And they want me to discern the good ones from the bad ones. I can look at two pictures that no one has ever seen before and know that that one is for me. And that one is for people whose idea of art is something ugly done by a relative. They come to galleries with bags of money and say, "Show me what you've got. Taste is no object." There are two subjects in painting that no one will buy. One is Jesus and the other is sheep. Love them as much as they want. No one really wants a painting of Jesus in their living room. You're having a few people over, having a few drinks, and then there's Jesus over the sofa. Somehow, it doesn't work. And not in the bedroom either. I mean, obviously. You want Jesus watching over you, but not while you're in the missionary position. You could put him in the kitchen, maybe, but that's sort of insulting to Jesus. Jesus, ham sandwich, Jesus, ham sandwich. I wouldn't like it, and neither would you. Can't sell a male nude either, unless they're messengers. Why a messenger would want to be nude, I don't know. You'd think they at least have a little pouch or something. In fact, if a nude man showed up at my door and I asked, "Who is it?" and he said, "Messenger," I would damn well look and see if he has a pouch. And if he doesn't, I'm not answering the door. Sheep are the same. Don't ask me why. Can't sell them.
I am still muted. There we go. I'm back. Oh, that was lovely. Great work, Angie. I think the biggest comment that we're going to get from people when they watch this video is people not believing that the six of you didn't prepare these in advance. Really fun. Really fun. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Angie.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, the roll of the die. And we have Andy Lebrun. Number 2 has rolled.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Andy. How are you?
Excellent. How are you doing?
Doing well. Doing well. Happy with the way that things have been going tonight.
Lovely.
How are you feeling? You feeling ready? Excited?
Yeah. Pumped. Had a nap. All good.
That's great. So you, Megan, had pulled your card and texted me that the card that she pulled was the king. And so for you, the monologue that you will be presenting is from Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay. I have
And-
not been in that show yet.
Oh, really? Huh. It is from Act 3, Scene 2, and you will be playing the character of Helena.
Helena. All right.
A little background. I have just sent you the link so you can pull that up. A little background for you on the scene that you're about to read. Helena has been doting on Demetrius and has desperately been trying to get her to love him. And Demetrius has had his eye on her old friend Hermia, who is in love with someone else whose name is Lysander. Due to some fairy magic that happens in the woods, both Lysander and Demetrius get a love spell put on them that makes them fall madly in love with Helena, except she is utterly convinced that they are messing with her. She thinks that it's all just mockery and that they don't actually like her, and she is yelling at all three of them for making her their joke.
Gotcha.
You ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, spite. Ah, hell, I see. I see. You are all bent to set against me for your merriment. If you were civil and knew courtesy, you would not do me thus much injury. Can you not hate me as I know you do, but you must join in souls to mock me too? If you were men, as men you are in show, you would not use a gentle lady so. To vow and swear and superpraise my parts when I am sure you hate me with your hearts. You are both our rivals and love Hermia. And now both rivals to mock Helena, a trim exploit, a manly expertise to conjure tears up in a poor maid's eyes with your derision. None of your noble sort would so offend a virgin and extort a poor soul's patience, all to make your sport. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, have you conspired? Have you with these contrived to bait me with this foul derision? Is all the counsel that we two have shared, the sisters' vows, the hours that we have spent, when we have chid the hasty-footed time for parting us? Oh, is it all forgot? Will you rent our ancient love asunder to join with men in scorning your poor friend? It is not friendly. 'Tis not maidenly. Our sex, as well as I, may chide you for it, though I alone do feel the injury.
Oh, well done, Andy. Well done. And you said you've never actually been in that Shakespeare.
Nor was I ever cast as Helena.
Oh, well, that was a wonderful rendition. Thank you so much for sharing that with us tonight, Andy.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, 2 down, 4 to go.
2 down.
There's always that little bit of like, what's better? Like going early where you get it out of the way on the positive, but then like you're also like, oh God, I have to be like the first or second person to do this. Or is it more nerve-wracking to like be the like one of the last people to go where you're just kind of sitting there, you know?
No, this is my working theory. Going later, it allows you to get acclimated to the room. So you get a sense of how the director gives feedback, how the actors communicate with each other. I have a plan, Mike.
Oh, you have clearly thought a lot about this.
I have, absolutely. My fellow introverts will understand.
All right, shall we see who number 3 is?
Number 3.
And we have Tori Clay.
Excellent. Tori's card is an 8.
Is an 8. All right. Tori, Let's get your video back on. How are we doing, Tori?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello.
Is it? I'm here.
We can hear you. Your video is off.
I
at the
thought
moment.
you were controlling it. All right, maybe this does it.
Yep, you are back.
Okay.
You are back. Welcome, welcome.
Okay.
And how are you feeling tonight, Tori?
Great. Happy to do this. This is fun.
Excellent, excellent. I want you to hold on to that word "fun," because you actually have one of the more dramatic monologues to do this evening. So it's a little bit of dramatic heavy lifting for you, but still fun. That's right. So I'm going to send you the link, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the piece. The piece is from Euripides' Trojan Women, and you will be reading the character Andromache, or Andromache, depending on how people pronounce it. In the scene, for anyone who's unfamiliar with the show, it is Hecuba, Cassandra, Andromache, these women who were from Troy after Troy has been sacked by the Greeks. And they're all awaiting their fate, most of them to be shipped off to Greece to be slaves in Greek households. And this scene in particular is a very powerful one for Andromache. Andromache's child Astyanax it's been ordered that he be thrown from the walls of Troy to his death. And a Greek soldier has come to tell her that he is taking her child from her so that he can be sacrificed. And this monologue is Andromache's reaction to this news.
I'm not I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing the Steve Martin one.
Oh, did you click the bottommost link in the chat?
Sorry to be the one that screws up the tech stuff here.
No worries at all. No worries.
Okay, the bottom. I thought I clicked it, but let me try it again. Does not seem to be responding to click. Oh, come on. Stupid computer. Something's happening. I have a white screen that usually comes up before I get what I'm trying to get.
Hey, this whole night has been about chance in theater, so we knew that.
Exactly. All right. It's monologue 7.
That's correct.
Okay. Yep, it's coming in. Yep, there it is. End of March. Okay. I am a Trojan woman. All right.
When you're ready, Tori.
I just gotta move it around so the words show. And okay. My child, my own sweet babe and priceless treasure, thy death the foe demands, and thou must leave thy wretched mother. That which saves the lives of others proves thy destruction. Even thy mobility to these fathers' valiancy have proved no boon. Oh, the woeful wedding rites that brought me erst to Hector's home, hoping to be the mother of a son that should rule over Asia's fruitful fields instead of serving as a victim to the sons of Danos. Dost weep, my babe? Dost know thy hapless face? Why clutch me with thy hands and to my garment cling, nestling like a tender chick beneath my wing? Hector will not rise again and come gripping his famous spear to bring thy salvation. No kinsman of thy sire appears, nor might of Frisian hosts. One awful headlong leap from the dizzy height, and thou wilt dash out of my life with none to pity these. Oh, to clasp thy tender limbs, a mother's fondest joy. Oh, to breathe thy fragrant breath. In vain it seems these breasts did suckle thee, wrapped in thy swaddling clothes. Often not I used to toil and wore myself away. Kiss thy mother now for the last time. Nestle to her that bare thee. Twine thy arms around my neck and join my lips to mine. Oh, yeah, Helen's cunning to devise new forms of cruelty. Why slay this child who never wronged any? Thou daughter of Tyndarus, thou art no child of Zeus, but sprung, I know, of many a sire. First of some evil demon, next of envy, then of murder and of death, and every horror that the earth begets. That Zeus was never sire of mine, I boldly do assert. Vain as thou hast been to too many, Hellene and barbarian too. Destruction catch thee. Those fair eyes of thine have brought a shameful ruin on the fields of glorious Troy. Take the babe and bear him hence. Hurl him.
Wow. Woo. Tori, that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
You really, I really felt you reach the emotion on that piece, and not easy to do when you are looking at the piece for the first time. So my hat's off to you, Tori. Really well done.
Seconded, officially.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this. We were so glad to have you as a part of Monologue Roulette.
Thanks, Tori.
I enjoyed it and I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Well, we are halfway through our contestants for Monologue Roulette.
Excellent.
Let's see who is next in line. Number 6, that is Jackie.
Nice. All right. And Jackie's number 7.
Oh.
Oh boy. I don't know. His reaction is just making me nervous.
Good.
All right. Let me pull it up for a second. All right. The monologue that you will be doing is from Neil Simon's Rumors.
Okay.
Nice.
I've heard of it, but I don't know it well.
It's very silly, Jackie. It's a very silly murder farce.
Silly and murder are right in my wheelhouse.
Excellent.
So I'll give you a little backstory and tell you about the specific monologue that you are going to be doing.
Okay.
You are going to be reading Officer Welch, who is a police officer who has had a very long night dealing with a group of rich socialite people who have been desperately trying to cover up something that occurred. They were having a dinner party for their friend who was a very well-to-do person in New York. And when the first guests arrived, they found that a gun had gone off and their friend was bleeding from the ear, and the wife was nowhere to be found. Not knowing what had happened, they can't get the story out of him. He ends up taking a bunch of painkillers and passing out. And as more people arrive, they're desperate to try and keep everything on the DL because they don't want a scandal. And as the police show up, this is the second time that the police have shown up, and the first time they all came up with ridiculous stories to explain the things that the police have been told to come and investigate. So this is now the second time Officer Welsh has been to the house, and he is frankly sick and tired of being given the runaround, and this is him drawing the line in the sand. So that is what you will be reading. Did you get the link?
Yes, I did.
All right. Are you ready? Do you have any other questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Jackie?
One second. Move the script up front. I'm going to say something now that isn't a part of my official capacity. But I don't believe one thing I've heard in this room. I think there were gunshots here tonight. I think someone or everyone is trying to cover up something. A man gets hit in the nose. Another man stabs himself with a fork. Someone's BMW gets smashed up. The host takes a short-legged dog for a walk and then goes to sleep. The hostess takes her father to a hospital in California with a broken hip, including a woman named Cookie who's been cooking all night who can't stand or walk. You people have to deal with me. I'm a cop, a real cop, you understand? I'm not somebody named Elmer that your kids watch on the Disney Channel. Now I want some real answers. Intelligent answers. Believable answers. And answers that don't make me laugh. But first, I want to see Mr. Charlie Brock and find out what the hell's going on here, including the possibility of him having 2 bullet holes in him. Now, I'll give you 5 seconds to get him down here, or I'll take 2 seconds and go upstairs and find him. Don't mess with me now. I am so close to a promotion. I can smell it. And I'm not going to screw it up with this case. Do I start counting or do I start climbing up steps? It's up to you.
Yep, sounds right.
Oh, that was fun. That was
I've
fun.
had days like that. Too many.
Yeah, it's a fun show. There's a lot of hijinks.
There are a lot of hijinks. I
Mhm.
Ken, who was the one in the couple who first showed up, and he's actually Charlie's lawyer. So he's
Nice.
very adamant of like, let's not tell anyone what's going on. Very fun of like people running up and down stairs and doors slamming, stuff like that.
I would love to get to do this show someday.
Someday
I could
in a theater
feel-
with people.
In the theater with people, yes.
I could really feel the frustration coming off of you.
What's there to be frustrated about right now? Seriously.
Well, thank you for being a part of this, both for your monologue earlier and playing our fun little evil game.
My pleasure.
It was great seeing you, Jackie. You have a great night.
You too.
Thanks,
thank you.
Jackie.
And then there were 2.
And then there were 2.
Second try. I was like, how many times am I gonna have to roll this die before I get one of the 2? And I actually got it on the second try. And it's a number 5, which means
Excellent.
Jamie Lynn is up.
Jamie Lynn, who got a queen.
A queen. Ooh. Oh, Jamie. Another dramatic piece. Because I can't do without puns and irony, I decided that the monologue that was going to be attached to the Queen card was going to be Cleopatra.
Ah,
Very nice. Very nice.
very nice. Very nice.
You are going to be reading from Antony and Cleopatra from Shakespeare, Act 5. And this is Cleopatra. She's picking up the asp, and she is having two of her serving women who have agreed to kill themselves as well. And then, of course, using the asp on herself, ending in this monologue literally ends with Cleopatra's death.
Ugh. Mike, you're fulfilling my dream. I've never gone to die on stage. This is all I've ever wanted. I've played the survivor so many times.
Oh, you were such a wonderful Rose in our Shakespeare Does the Last Jedi.
So now I get to die. All right, Cleopatra it is. All right, let me just
okay.
adjust. Yes, I found it. Just moving things around on my screen. All right. Cool. Give me my robe. Put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me. Now no more the juice of Egypt's grape shall moist this lip. Yare, good Iris. Quick. Methinks I hear Antony call. I see him rouse himself to praise my noble act. I hear him mock the luck of Caesar, which the gods give men to excuse their after wrath. Husband, I come. Now to that name my courage prove my title. I am fire and air. My other elements I give to baser life. So, have you done? Come then, and take the last warmth of my lips. Farewell, kind Charmian. Eros, long farewell. Have I the aspic in my lips? Dost fall? If thou and nature can so gently part, the stroke of death is as a lover's pinch, which hurts and is desired. Dost thou lie still? If thus thou vanishest, thou tell'st the world it is not worth leave taking. This proves me base. If she first meet the curled Antony, he'll make demand of her and spend that kiss which is my heaven to have. Come, thou mortal wretch, with thy sharp teeth this knot intrinsicate of life at once untie. Poor venomous fool, be angry and dispatch. Oh, couldst thou speak, that I might hear thee call great Caesar ass unpolicied, as sweet as balm, as soft as air, as gentle. Oh, Antony, what should I say?
Very nice. Very, very nice. So I've actually never seen Antony and Cleopatra performed. So now I'm getting a little bit of a taste of what to expect.
Jamie, it was an exquisite death on Zoom.
Thank you. It's all I ever dreamed of.
It really, your rendition of it really was very wonderful. Thank you for presenting that for us.
Thanks for letting me do it.
Absolutely. I said from literally the beginning, the biggest issue is going to be convincing everyone that you guys really didn't know these monologues.
Mm-hmm. It's what we do, actors.
All right.
Yeah. Take care, Jamie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
Well, we don't need the die anymore because
nope.
There's only one name left, Kate. Hey.
All right, so now, Kate, you get to bear out if my theory is right.
So,
if it is less nerve-wracking to go last.
About this since you spoke. If we were going to auditions, your theory is like 100% in my heart. I like to take stock and like look at what the director's thinking. For this, I think you're crazy. Just sitting here going, "Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so good."
The bar's been set.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mike, So Kate's card is the Ace of Hearts.
Ah, okay. All right, Ace of Hearts. Let's see. That is As You Like It. Are you familiar with Shakespeare's As You Like It, Kate?
Yes, it depends on what monologue you're about to throw at me, but I'm
But you are aware, you know what the show is about.
yeah, a lot of cross-dressing, falling in love, typical stuff.
Yeah. You will be doing a monologue by Rosalind in the middle of the play. It's Act 3, Scene 5. While Rosalind has been disguising herself as a shepherd, among the various other things that she's doing in the play, there is a shepherdess who ends up falling in love with Rosalind in disguise. And that shepherdess is followed by another shepherd who has been doting on this young woman, and he's been begging her to, give him a chance and for the two of them to go out. And she keeps pushing him off. For Rosalind's character, whom she is in love with. Rosalind, meanwhile, is in love with Orlando and trying to make something happen there. And in this speech in particular, it's Rosalind saying to this shepherdess, "It's not going to happen, okay? And you should really think about this young man who clearly dotes on you and give him an opportunity." So it's Rosalind talking to this young shepherdess.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
All right, time to do it, Kate. You're
And why, I pray you? Who might your mother that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What though you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed? Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than ordinary of nature's sail work. Oh, it's my little life. I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can entame my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? Like foggy south puffing with wind and rain. You are 1,000 times a proper man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her. And out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love. I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to a scoffer, so take her to thee, shepherd. Fare thee well.
An amazing performance to cap a string of amazing performances. Kate, you did awesome. The sass with which you hit the know yourself was right on point for Rosalind.
Any chance to be sassy.
Now, I know you might not have had a lot of familiarity with As You Like It, but I do know, Kate, that you are quite the Shakespeare buff.
I am, Mike. Where could you be going with this?
Do you maybe have something happening next week that has to do with Shakespeare?
And you know what's funny is that you're in it, and in a fun little reversal, we're doing what's called Instant Shakespeare. So we're going to look at Much Ado About Nothing that I trimmed way down. And I got 6 actors, including Mike, to agree to do this kind of improv style. So I'm not going to cast until the second before they start performing. And I'm going to throw weird challenges at them and maybe make them change the way they said their lines. I don't know yet. It's going to be fun, but definitely a little bit of payback for Mike. So tune in next Thursday at 8 Details on the Theater First website.
You said that was next Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Correct.
And
Great.
make sure to make a reservation because we can limit the number of seats and we have to, or Zoom will be dumb. Technical term.
Yes, apparently we have to social distance on Zoom as well. Limited audience. Kate, thank you so much for being a part of this, and I'm really looking forward to working on your show next week.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for hosting this and doing such a great job. It's for a really
Awesome.
worthy
Thank
cause,
you,
so glad to be
Kate.
here.
Before you go, any of our performers that are still on, please feel free, pop your videos back on, take a bow. You guys did such an amazing job. I'm really, I couldn't have asked for this to go better. This was a real treat for us to do, and thank you all for being so willing and so brave to throw yourself at our monologue mercy.
Gladly.
Thank you for organizing this. It was wonderful.
Excellent fun times.
This was so much fun. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You guys all have a great night, and we will look forward to the next Zoom event.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Oh, Megan, how are you feeling?
Well, I have reached a Zen point when it comes to technology. But other than that, I'm always delighted when we do these events, especially when we get a chance to see actors we haven't seen in a long time, whether it's because they're really busy, they're working with other theaters. It's always great, especially getting new blood in and having it be a fun time.
I agree. And I have to say, for all of the chance possibilities of things going off the rails, mostly because technology is unreliable at the best of times.
Yep.
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with the way that the evening went. I'm really proud of this event, and I can't express my gratitude enough to all of the people who donated their time and their talents to be a part of this program. I want to do a special shout out to the man whose mug you've been seeing at the bottom of the screen for most of the night, Ben, who is the technical coordinator for Theater at First, without whom this night might not have actually happened, because
accurate, very accurate.
Literally last night we were working through tech issues, and Ben is a hero. And what did we decide? It was a bouquet of beef jerky, Megan?
Absolutely. Yep. Which that does exist in the world. That exists. So Ben, do not be surprised if that shows up at your door.
So Ben, thank you again for stepping up and stepping in and being such a big help on the tech side of things. As someone who is an actor primarily, but also a director, I think it's so important, and the tech bow or the acknowledgement from the cast of the tech is barely enough thanks for what is done, the things that need to be done behind the scenes to have any production go off. And I honestly don't think that people who are on crew get enough praise and get enough thanks. I mean, actors get the adulation, the actors get the applause. I mean, obviously the applause is for everyone, but they're out there for the curtain call. And obviously the performances are a crucial part of the performance, but let's be honest, if the lights weren't on the stage, if the sound wasn't working, if there weren't costumes and props to create the magic of theater and the world that the play is in, there would be a lot lost. And
so Ben has told me on multiple occasions that for many people that are not familiar with the backstage of theater. The only time they notice the lighting techs, the stage managers, anyone that is coming on in blacks and moving pieces is when something doesn't go according to plan, which means every single show that you see that goes, every light cue gets hit, every stage piece gets moved, and you get to completely get lost in the story. That is because the tech crew is busting their tails in the background to make it all go off without a hitch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you ever find this? Stephanie, my wife, and I, we joke about how after you've spent so much time in theater, you can't just go and see shows anymore.
Oh no, you turn into a total nerd where you watch the show and you were like, oh, that lighting cue was so nice. Oh, or like you look at, I feel like it gives you a greater appreciation of what you're seeing on stage because you understand everything that is happening is a choice. So the lighting cue that's used, the lighting color that's used, any movement on stage is because someone said, let's try a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we have a little more time before this thing is supposed to come to an end. Do you want to draw a card for yourself?
Sure. Let's see if technology will bear with me for the next couple minutes. All right. I have drawn a 6.
The 6. Okay. Okay. Have you ever heard or seen the show I Hate Hamlet?
I have not.
It is a very fun show by an author named Paul Rudnick, and the show is about an actor who was a TV star. He was like a doctor on basically an ER kind of a show. And he moves from LA to New York because he got an offer to play Hamlet in the park.
Okay.
And he was at a point in his life and in his career where he was feeling stagnant and he wanted to try and challenge himself, except he realized a couple of things. The main thing being that he doesn't know if he actually is a talented actor.
Ooh, deep. I dig it.
That idea of like, being a TV actor is one thing, but, being this live performer and doing Shakespeare with all of the difficult language, he thinks he starts second guessing himself and thinking that he's crazy for trying to take this part on.
Okay.
Well, the main crux of the show is that while he's in New York, he ends up by chance getting the apartment. He rents the apartment that John Barrymore had once had. And the ghost of Barrymore appears to this young actor and is coaching him and convincing him that he needs to take on this challenge, that he needs to play Hamlet.
Excellent.
And the scene in particular that you're reading, you're actually going to be reading as John Barrymore.
Yes, I get to be a dead ghost. I'm all about it.
This just larger than life actor.
This is going to be a stretch, Mike. As you know, I'm a very quiet, demure actor.
And the two, Andy and Barrymore's ghost, have they've gotten into a little bit of an argument where Andy says he's going to quit, and Barrymore is like, no, you can't quit. And Andy turns it around on him and says, you weren't exactly like at the end of your career, you weren't exactly like an Oscar winner. So, who are you to judge me? And this is Barrymore's response that I'm sending.
All right. So before I start, I'm going to have you bear with me to make sure. So you can still hear me. My camera is okay?
Yep, I can hear you fine. I can see you fine.
Great. All right, then let's do it.
Hang on, let me get you set.
All right. We good to go?
you are all set.
There was a day on a set when the cameras rolled and I couldn't remember a line. Nothing. Take after take, not a word, not a speech, just haze and then terror. And I wasn't drunk, no, stone sober. And everyone was more than kind. And the words were scribbled on shirt sleeves and cardboards held just out of camera range. But I knew instantly I could never go back on stage. I was John Barrymore, the hopeless, unemployable lush, the public embarrassment, the off-color joke. Yes, I ran to Hollywood, you're quite right. And you can't imagine the life I led. I was a movie star. Do you know what that means? My face, 5 stories high and 6 zeros wide. But before all that, in my prime, I faced the dragon. I accepted a role so insanely complex, so fantastic and impossible that any attempt is only that, an attempt. And I stood in the light before a crowd fully prepared to dismiss, to deride, and to depart. And I shook them. I wooed them. And I said, yes, you will stay. And yes, you will remember. And for one moment in my life, I used all that I knew, every shred of talent, every ounce of gall. I was John Barrymore. And for those sacred evenings, there was no shame. I played Hamlet. Have you? Scene.
Bravo. Bravo.
Look at that. Technology didn't die on me. Very pleased.
I love that challenge at the end, you know.
Oh yeah.
I played Hamlet. Have you?
No, I have not. I have not been on stage for 4 hours doing iambic pentameter.
Yeah. Does anyone do the unabridged version anymore?
That's a great question. So I did see the National Theater live when Benedict Cumberbatch played Hamlet. And I have heard rumblings that that was abridged and it was moved around because they moved his classic "To Dream or Not to Dream" speech, or "To Be or Not to Be" speech earlier, as to try and shake up the audience.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't know. Could you sit through many, many hours of Shakespeare nowadays?
I mean, I will say that I feel like I could, but I also know that I am maybe perhaps a rarity in the fact that I'm a giant Shakespeare nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in high school, and actually, my senior year show was Hamlet, and I played the ghost of Hamlet's father.
Excellent, excellent.
And our director, our drama director in high school, he shared with a few of us, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead.
Tom Stoppard.
Which I had never heard of. And there was one like bonding exercise where, like, after a rehearsal, anyone who wanted to stay for a couple of hours afterwards, you know, we had popcorn, and he brought us the movie with Tim Roth and Gary Oldman.
Wow.
And
nice.
This was like, it was one of those defining moments where I knew that I was weird, because I'm sitting there. I mean, I loved Hamlet even before we did it my senior year. Like, I was psyched when we were told that we were going to be doing Hamlet, because it was one of my favorite Shakespeares that I had been exposed to at that point in my life. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I am dying. I am cracking up and rolling on the floor, laughing at Gary Oldman and Tim Roth. And like 90% of the other high schoolers in the room are going, "This is so boring." they found it slow and boring, and they didn't particularly like the humor of it. And I was kind of looking around going, oh God, I am alone in this room. It's me and my English teacher laughing about this movie.
Excellent. I feel like that's the way it should be.
Megan, thank you so much for co-hosting this event with me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike, for putting the ball in motion and getting us all together.
Absolutely. Well, for one last time, I am going to say just a reminder for anyone watching now or any of you who are watching the recording later, please click on the link. You can find it at the Theater at First website. We do have a donation link. We are going to be accepting donations over the course of the week for Black Lives Matter. Every penny that gets donated over the course of the next week, it's all going to go to Black Lives Matter. It's an important movement. It's an important cause. And when we can use our art to impact the world, even in a small way, if we can make some kind of a difference, that just adds to it's more than just the love of theater for us at this point now. Being able to use it to have an impact, I think, just makes it that much more special. So for all of you watching, you're a part of this. We ask that you click on the link and donate. Thank you so much for tuning in. For Megan, myself, for Theater at First, thank you all and have a lovely evening. Till next time.